So it took me going into complete fear, despair, hating myself, to all of a sudden hearing and feeling a pop around my third eye. And then it was like I popped out of my body and I was floating, and it was like this beautiful butterfly wing of all of this color. I swear it was an angel. And I felt like it was Archangel Michael at the time. And I was like, please save me. Please keep me safe. I don't want to go to bed tonight. I'm so scared. And it was just there. And I was like, this is the most beautiful experience. Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, love, attraction, all of that juicy goodness. I am here in this video to bring you a page pull. And I haven't used this book. I maybe have used it once in the past, 3 years, 2 years since I started my channel, 2.5 years. It's called Inviting Angels into Your Life. So I highly recommend, if you are looking to build your connection to your angels, wanting to learn about angels. There's another book called Ask Your Guides. That's very good, by Sonia Choquette. I think I'm saying her last name right, Choquette or Choquette. This is by Catherine Hudson, but I'm going to pick a random page. This has messages from your archangels, also super informative about what each archangel represents. Like, there's a healing archangel, there's an archangel that will help you with your speech, with speaking your truth, with public speaking. So it's a pretty cool book. So let's just pick a random page. Angels and guides, can you please bring the messages that my viewers need to hear today? Her left side. Okay, let's see what angel we're working with. So I just opened up to a page and it said chakra, color, crystal stone, Archangel Uriel. All right, here we go. It says Archangel Uriel, whose name can be translated as the fire of God, is, as one might surmise with such a name, perhaps not the archangel who is the most mild-mannered. Known by some as the Archangel of Catastrophes, not the most flattering of titles. Uriel is at hand to assist us when we face situations that test us in trial by fire moments. These can include natural catastrophes, such as hurricanes and fires, earthquakes and tornadoes, or personal game changers like the Big Four: moving, losing a job, a romantic breakup, or a death. How can Uriel help? In both cases, natural or personal disasters, Archangel Uriel helps us to cope before, during, and after the crisis in question. So it says, before a natural disaster, and I kind of feel like that's what this is about, because I've been watching so much content and feeling into my own body. I've had dreams of tsunamis for years, and I noticed the other day that I stopped dreaming about them. And when we stop dreaming about them, it's usually because the time has come and it's no longer like the warning has been made. And it's not a warning it is a warning. It's my guide saying this could happen, prepare, right? And I'm not surprised that we're getting this archangel, which talks about how to help, through disaster, because our world, I believe, is going to go through some turmoil this year, especially around the election. And they're talking about 3 days of darkness, which could come from a solar flare or a solar light, or maybe a star bursting in the universe, which causes our grid to go down. So, not to bring any fear to any of you, as you guys know, on my channel, we are all sunshines, rainbows, and butterflies, and also some deep healing. But we have to be real and we have to be prepared. So I love that my guides and angels brought us this page today, because they're saying, don't have fear. If you have fear through the process, it's going to make it worse. So if we can be grounded and be like, okay, I have my needs met, I have everything I need in my home, God forbid if, there was an earthquake or a tornado or something and I lost everything, right? Like, I would still be okay. I still have my health. I still have my family. And if we have to, go through loss, that's okay too. We can survive it, right? We are strong and we are choosing to be here during this major transformation on our planet. And I created my channel to support you through this process. And I unknowingly created my channel to do this. I knew about the Great Awakening back in 2018. And I am shocked, like mind blown of how many people are awake now. It's wild. And I was not even like an early bird. There's people that have been awakened, since the 80s, since the 90s. Some of the people that I learned from awakened in 2012. That was another big year. So it is just so cool to see how there's more people that are here watching this, right? And wanting to learn about this. But part of awakening is discernment and watching who you're learning from, and also preparing yourself and getting real and saying, okay, I'm awake now, which means I have to see things that I don't want to see. And that's part of awakening, is we're going to have to face the ick part of our world that needs to be changed. But we're warriors and we're here. So most of you on my channel have been through so much in your past, but guess what? You handled it. You did well. You might not think you did well, but you did well. You're here. And maybe you've watched people pass away. Maybe you've seen terrible things happen. Maybe you were homeless. Maybe you were abused. If you're still standing and you're listening to this right now, it's because you were made for it, right? You're this warrior. And now we might have bigger things coming our way. And we've already been through tough things, right? We're not looking for an easy path, but we now can light the torch for others. Imagine a natural disaster hits and other people are losing family members and you've already lost a few. You're like, okay, I can do this. I've done this before. Now, all of these people who are crumbling, you're going to be able to lend a hand to them and say, I got you. I know how to do this. I can show you the way. I have the keys. I have the tools. Okay. So I'm assuming most of you on my channel are those kinds of people where you've been through hell and back. And now it's your job and my job to prepare you to light the way for others. Okay, let's see what Uriel says about before a natural disaster. Okay, Uriel will connect with persons who are open to receiving this kind of information. That would be me. To warn of impending traumatic events. For example, it is said that it was Uriel who warned Noah of the floods. If you or someone you know is gifted in that rare way that receives warning messages, Uriel is behind them. He can thus also aid the person to utilize the information to prepare for and aid the overall situation. I often meet people who receive warnings in dreams and who, frustrated, ask me, why give me the vision if there's nothing I can do about it? How many times, you guys, have I said that? I literally have said, why do I know these things before they happen? Because I can't do anything and I just know it's going to happen. Like, unfortunately, we just had another school shooting in the US and I knew it was going to happen. And there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't know what state, I didn't know where. I just knew that I felt immense grief 12 hours before. And it's a pattern for me. It's like the same kind of grief. And I'm like, man, this reminds me back when, the last time there was a school shooting, I bet you there's going to be another one. And 12 hours later, I saw it on the news. And I'm like, why do my guides make me feel that? So if you're like me and you get dreams and you get feelings and you can sense really global tragic events happening, this message is for you. Stay tuned. Okay, it says, why give me the vision if there's nothing I can do about it? As ever with my channel, when a person asks a question, I hear the answer, and what I have been given to respond in most cases is, people who receive premonitions about impending disasters are being trained. For many, it takes a few experiences to understand that what we are seeing or hearing are true experiences. Experiencing the confirmation of our hunches or visions or dreams builds up confidence that we truly have this gift. It was confidence in the truth of her experience that made Joan of Arc unshakable in her faith, so much so that she, a teenage girl, got an audience with the king. That is the kind of confidence that will be necessary when the times come to share your gift if you fall into this group of souls. So here's the message. Do not worry if you lack an outlet to warn others if you are one of the few people who receive a message about disasters. When you have a role to play utilizing your gift, you will be presented with the opportunity and guided to share the announcement. Just remember to call on Uriel to prepare your instrument to be played in this way. It says, during a natural disaster, if we call on Uriel during a natural disaster, he will help us to keep calm, guiding us with effective inspirations to handle any crisis in the best way possible for all concerned. When the world around us falls into the trap that is panic, Uriel, with his perspective that allows a broader view, helps us to keep a cool head and clearly see the best actions to take. Okay, it says after a natural disaster. Again, Uriel can help after a disaster, providing clear-sighted inspiration for rebuilding in the best way possible. Although no one welcomes a natural disaster, it is true that space and time are created to rebuild in a more positive and constructive way. Often those structures whose time had come anyway. So this message is all talking about, our guides are literally telling us that things are coming, and it's a gift. We are lucky. You guys are so lucky to be watching this right now, to be getting this message from Uriel through me. And I'm so lucky too to be receiving it. And we just have to learn how to call on Uriel during the process, prior to. Wake up and say, Archangel Uriel, can you show me what to do today to prepare if this natural disaster is coming soon? Show me what I need. Do I need water? Do I need canned food? Do I need, to tell certain people who will hear it and not freak out, right? But the more you guys get used to using your guides, using your angels, when a disaster is actually hitting, you're going to be in your body going, okay, I'm going to call on Uriel right now. Uriel, could you please bring safety into my body? Can you please allow me to feel safe during this chaos right now? And you will get that comfort. I'm telling you, you will feel that angel come into your body, and you'll feel the angels. This is how you know an angel is with you. You'll feel cold air. You might feel heat in your body, which is a healing energy. You might get tingliness on your nose. My nose always starts to itch when they're with me in my readings and my sessions. You might get tingling down your spine, in your toes, in your hands. And it's just for like a brief moment. Sometimes they're consistent, but the angels are always with us. They say that there's twice as many angels as there are humans on this planet. So there's probably like 10 angels in the room that you're watching this video in right now, in your car with you. And they say half of the angels are incarnated. They're here. They're just so high vibrational that we can't see them. There's other angels who are not incarnated, who are on the other side of the veil, just helping and guiding us. But the angels that are incarnated, they're the ones that can stop us from getting in an accident. They can interfere with our electronics and move things for us. But this is one thing that you guys have to know. If you are not putting your thoughts into a thought form, into structure, into writing, into a thought process in your brain, like saying, like in my head, I would say, angels, can you help me hit every green light on this drive? Can you protect me on this drive and keep all the other cars that are not safe away from me? I just put words into a form in my head, even though I didn't say it out loud, because they say you have to speak out loud for angels to intervene and to help you. But if you're in a public place and you can't speak out loud, they say if you put it in a thought form, like you're speaking a sentence out loud, but just in your head, that works too. So writing, creating a thought form in your head, like a pattern, and then also speaking it out loud. As soon as I pay a bill, as soon as I'm charging money at the store or paying for something, I'm always asking my angels to bring it back to me double. And they do every single time. So it's just, exercising the voice. We're getting a message of some sort of natural disaster that could be coming, and it could be 3 months. It could be 1 month. We don't know the timing. I can also ask them later for the timing and maybe report back to you guys if I get a clear message. But normally they don't tell us when. They don't tell us exact dates and stuff, because sometimes maybe they don't know either. I think it depends on our human consciousness and what's being done, and we have free will, right? And Mother Earth is going to expend her energy whenever she's meant to. But this was a clear message out of all the angels in this book for us to get Uriel, which it's spelled Uriel, just in case anybody's visual learner. But we're getting a message of it, some sort of natural thing that could be happening. And also, Uriel did talk about catastrophes in the sense of maybe you're losing your job, maybe you're getting divorced, maybe there's going to be a breakup in your reality. Maybe you might have to move for some reason. Maybe there's a death. That's something that you can prepare for. And Uriel is the angel to call into your life, to call into your body and say, Uriel, can you please bring me comfort through this loss? Can you help me cope with it? I got 2 text messages last week. And because of the loss of my daughter, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I had a daughter in 2012 and she passed away. She was only here for about 6 weeks. She had a muscle disorder and she started to decline, and things unfolded as they were meant to with her. But I now became known as the mom who lost her daughter, right? So I tend to get text messages from other moms or sisters or aunts or even husbands who say, "Hey, Michelle, you're such an inspiration. I don't know how you've done it all these years. I just had a friend who miscarried, or I just had a friend whose baby didn't wake up this morning. Would you be willing to talk to the mom?" And I can't even tell you, it's an honor, right? It's an honor for me to be able to be this person. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I've been through it and I survived it. We're warriors. Now we're meant to help others go through it. And I believe Uriel is saying that. Uriel is coming through me right now saying, like, hey, there's something specific that you've gone through in your life, and other people, you might be watching this video going, oh no, something bad's going to happen to me. I don't think that's the case. I think it's me educating you on how to be a warrior to help others. Because if you're magnetized to me and I'm living this in my life, I'm consistently helping others go through what I went through. And whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's physical abuse in childhood, whether it's the loss of a child, whether it's the loss of anybody, a husband, a wife, a grandparent, whoever it is, a sibling, it's all the same. It's grief and it breaks you open. And, we need help. We need somebody that's been through it to say, hey, this stage is normal. Don't put a timeline on your grief. Make sure you're dressing yourself up and getting out of the house every once in a while. It's good for your health. You got to be in nature, your mental health. But Uriel is here saying that all of you watching, you've been through something tough and Uriel is with you. And Uriel, all you have to do is call on him or her. You can say, they say it's a him, but I believe angels are just not, there's no gender. um, but you can call on them at any time to bring you peace during any kind of chaos. If you need the right words to say to a mom who's lost her baby, or the right words to say to somebody who, just lost their spouse and maybe you haven't lost your spouse, right? You can ask Uriel to help you through this catastrophe, right? These things, the breakdown that is happening. I 100%, they keep making me say this over and over again. You're warriors. You are not the ones that are going to be suffering. We've already been through our suffering. We are now here to light the way, to lead the way, to say, hey, these people can come to us now because we know the tools, we have the tools to do it. And maybe you're on this channel right now learning, and maybe you are going through it. And I am sending you so much love, and you do not have to do this alone. You can book a session with me. You can reach out to anybody in your community for support. Just use that voice and ask for help. Okay, let's do one more page. I feel guided that we need to end on like an uplifted message. Okay. Here we go. We have clair-sentience. Interesting. Okay, cool. This is what I am. Maybe some of you are clair-sentient and you need to hear about this. Okay, clair-sentience is the capacity to know and understand things through the feelings of our bodies, to include our senses of touch, smell, and taste. It says, I feel you, in quotes, a phrase often used these days to let the other person know that we understand where they're coming from. We get it. We can imagine being in the other's shoes and how they feel at the moment. This capacity for empathy is one expression of clair-sentience, one that we all take for granted and thus don't see as anything special. But what else do we feel? Perhaps we walk into a room and feel welcome or not. Perhaps we feel physically uncomfortable in certain spaces, a hospital, a cemetery, and conversely, feel great in others, at a friend's house, in our favorite place in nature, perhaps a spa. The difference between these places, which logically should impact our sense of well-being, is their energy. Clair-sentience is about responding to energy. Our bodies are sensitive instruments that capture, read, and react to energy. This is true not only for some, but for all of us. All of us are more comfortable, happier in some places, but not others, with some people, not others. This has a physical impact on us and may include changes in heartbeat and breathing. For example, the instinctive holding of the breath, hair standing on end, goosebumps, feelings of warmth, feelings of coldness, butterflies or knots in the stomach, and weak knees. Each of our instruments plays in its own unique way, and it is up to us to pay attention in order to decipher how our body communicates messages and their meanings. For example, who has never had goosebumps? If you have, you probably know that there are good goosebumps and there are bad goosebumps, right? Good goosebumps come when something wonderful and maybe fortuitous occurs. They bring feelings of joy and peace. Bad goosebumps, however, bring neither joy nor peace, but rather anguish and foreboding. In both cases, the same physical phenomena occurs, but instinctually, we know which is bad and which is good. In the future, these sort of things will be taught in school, but for now, most of us learn these things late, if at all. It is crucial information to be able to play the game of life with an instrument able to communicate with friends in high places and live life large, which is your angels. Throughout this book, we will continue to do a number of exercises together that will augment your sensitivity to energy and your capacity to strengthen so that your sensitivity becomes an asset, not a liability. But for now, let's simply recognize that our bodies respond to energy in the form of clairsentience. In addition, it is the clairvoyant gift that allows us to transmit energy to others in various forms of healing, such as Reiki or angel healing, which we will discuss later in the book. Other forms of clairsentience include the capacity to capture information through our body in other ways, such as through our sense of smell or taste. Sometimes, for example, a loved one who has passed away will communicate with us by leaving the scent of their favorite cologne or perfume behind, allowing us to know of their presence even after they have physically left the earth plane. I love this. That was a really good final message that our bodies, literally everybody has the gift of, sensing energy, but clairsentient people really feel into and get messages through their body like, oh, these are bad goosebumps. No, no, no. Something feels off here. I feel like I need to leave. And you'll know that feeling. Like if that kind of startled you and you're like, wait, I thought all goosebumps were good, you'll know. You'll be, imagine walking down a street where you just get chills and you're just like, something feels off. That's your guides and angels saying, hey, turn around and go back. You can follow that. You can follow this little feeling that we're giving you. And that's, again, how we know our angels are with us. And you can thank them out loud and say, thank you so much for warning me. Thank you so much for showing me where danger is. I have this thing that happens in my body where I can sense somebody else's auric field who's around me who has a closed heart chakra and they feel dangerous. My heart will just start pounding out of my chest out of nowhere. Like I'll just be in my apartment and I'll start feeling it. I'm like, oh, somebody close by is not kind or is mean or has restrictive energy. And I'm sensing their coldness in the heart. It could even be somebody in the gym. My gym is super close to where I live and I can just feel the energy. That's why I probably need to move because I need to be in a more peaceful place where I'm not affected by other people's energy or so close in proximity to other people. So take inventory of your gifts, your spiritual gifts. Are you getting dreams from Uriel about natural disasters, of experiences, of chaos? And maybe start to track it and be like, okay, I don't need to fear this. This is preparation. I'm okay. Everything's going to be okay. And my guides are telling me to tell you that they're like, Michelle, you never used to be that way. Like I used to be so fearful. Like I used to watch a video like this and then turn it off. So high five if you have stayed long enough to the end of this video because you didn't let your fear win. And your fear is what keeps you not safe. It thinks it's keeping you safe, but you not being prepared and educating yourself about all of this is keeping you more in your fear. The more prepared you are, the less fear you have. And the more you go to bed at night feeling safe. I remember being in my apartment and my friend Elisa would always tell me about all the things that could happen in the future. And she loves listening to podcasts. She's like my little researcher. She's my friend that does all the research on all of this stuff because I couldn't handle it. My nervous system was so sensitive that I just couldn't handle the thought of a tsunami or what if we don't have water and food? What will we do? Like I literally couldn't even speak about it. So I was like, please just do the information and just tell me what to buy. And it's so wild to see all of that fear-based energy has left my body. And now I'm teaching about it. So I have come a long, long way. And that was just probably in 2019 that her and I were having those conversations where I felt so unsettled. And I was just like, please don't tell me about this stuff. Like I was almost mean. And she was like, Michelle, you need to know. And I thank God I had her because she was a grounded energy for me that really made me feel safe learning through her. She's the one that forced me to take the homeopathy class that I took where I could learn about the body. And, I wanted to learn about remedies. So, if something were to happen in our world and we didn't have the medical supplies or the system, I would then know what plants work. So because God made all of these plants to help us heal. And now I feel so educated in that area too. So the more you educate yourself, the less fear that you have. Always remember that. So if you're resisting learning something, go learn it because you need it. You're going to feel less fear the more you educate yourself and you empower yourself with knowledge. Okay. And also call on your angels. They can guide you to the right person to learn from. They can bring you money. They can bring you green lights. They can bring you whatever you're looking to call in to make you feel safe. And as I was just, when I just did this with my hand, my angels said, Michelle, I'm so proud of you for creating this video. Like this morning, I was thinking, what do I want to do? Do I want to go outside because it's beautiful outside? Do I want to connect in nature? Do I want to meditate? Do I want to film? And I literally was standing there going, angels, move me, tell me to take action. And then all of a sudden it was like, they gave me the feeling of dolling up. They're like, be in your feminine energy, Michelle, go doll up, create some content. We'll speak through you. And then they guided me to get that book, which I haven't gotten in a while. Like none of my videos are planned. It is the same day I wake up and they say, go film. And when I don't get that clear message, then I have to say, angels, show me what to do. And then they give me the feeling through my body of, ooh, I want to go doll up. Just a little behind the scenes of how this thing comes about and how far I've come. You know, I was always scared to talk about this stuff. And they were saying, you know, we're so proud of you that you're making this video for everybody because you were in a place where you were terrified and in your fear. And now you see the warrior in you that isn't scared and will know what to do when the time is right. And if you don't know what to do, you will call on your angels. And I'm telling you, they will bring you a sense of peace in your body that you've never felt before. There was one time, final story, through my spiritual awakening process, I attracted for my healing all of these icky situations where I had to feel fear and I had to access the fear that was deep within me, right? So I had to attract the situations that I was most scared of. Well, I was on a walk one day and a guy was walking. It was like in a neighborhood and he was like, oh, you know, let's walk together. You know, it was kind of like strange. And I was super nice back then, kind of naive, you know, just was nice to everybody. And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, what's up? How's your day going? You know, whatever. And then as we were walking, thank God we were in a neighborhood, but he was like, you should come to my house. I have a cool meditation room. And I was like, that just sounds total sketch. Like, no. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm just going to stay on my walk. I was like, actually, I'm going to turn around and go back because a minute red flag immediately went out when he said that. We went from talking about like spiritual awakening and all this stuff to him inviting me to his house to a meditation room. I was like, no way. I was like, I'm going to turn around. He goes, oh, I'll walk you back. I said, no, I'm okay. Thanks. And he goes, no, I will. And I was like, no, you won't. I was like, please leave me alone. And he's like, no, I didn't mean it. And like, I literally went to a neighbor's house. Throat chakra. I was shaking at the time because I was not in my warrior. And I went to a neighbor's house. We called the cops. I was like, who is this creep? Does he even live here? He didn't even live in the neighborhood. He was a total sketch. Well, I went home that night and I live alone. So I'm like, oh no, like, was he stalking me? Did he already know where I lived? And he followed me to this park. So I shut my door, locked my door, went into my bed. And that's when my third eye opened. I was in so much fear and didn't feel safe in my home, didn't feel safe in my body. I was yelling at myself going, Michelle, how stupid are you? Why would you walk with a man that you don't know? Like, I just was so mad at myself. Like, how did I not learn that lesson? You know, why am I so nice and just thinking that everybody's sweet and kind? And I was like literally crying and almost screaming in my bed. And all of a sudden I heard a pop. And I just was in this, like, I swear my angels just came in and like took me out of my body or something. And I was like floating in this psychedelic colors. And it was like, it was going like this. Like it was like a wah, wah, wah. It was so beautiful. And it was literally like, if you think of like an LSD trip, when they show all the colors moving, that's what I was experiencing. And it was, you guys, the most love I have ever felt in my entire body. So it took me going into complete fear, despair, hating myself, to all of a sudden hearing and feeling a pop around my third eye. And then it was like I popped out of my body and I was floating and it was like this beautiful butterfly wing of all of this color. I swear it was an angel. And I felt like it was Archangel Michael at the time. And I was like, please save me. Please keep me safe. I don't want to go to bed tonight. I'm so scared. And it was just there. And I was like, this is the most beautiful experience of my entire life. And I was grateful for, almost being taken. Like that guy totally could have kidnapped me if I was in a different street. Maybe if there was no neighbors outside, I don't know what he would have done, but I was terrified. And I honestly think something like that happened to me in a past life, and I had to re-experience a similar event to access the feeling again, to then spark the awakening even more. But if you're having these experiences, if you're going through these strange moments on your journey, it's okay. Sometimes we have to re-access the feeling of fear to finally purge it. And, I would always say, like, I just don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. It was just a theme for me. And yes, women in general, we don't feel safe in this world because of all the harm. And the more we awaken, the more we see, oh my gosh, this is happening. I can't believe I ever traveled alone. It was so scary. Anybody could have picked me up. And you just get real with what's been going on in the world that nobody's talking about, right? So when you're needing to release the fear-based emotions of living in your body from past lives, sometimes we have to attract a similar, not so harmful situation to spark the feeling to awaken even more. Okay, so what's happening is I had to go into that fear because then I accessed a new level. So it's like you're leveling up in the game, but you have to kind of go down a darker road and experience some other things on your journey that are not so fun. So yeah, and a lot of times it can relate to a past life, and you're being called to re-experience it, have a dream about it, have a memory, have a vision, so that you can finally purge it. Final message. I know I keep saying that, sorry. But my angels are like, they got to hear all of this stuff. So final message is, this is the time. This lifetime is the lifetime for you to heal everything. Okay, you can heal all of your past lives. This is the only lifetime, the angels have said, this is the only lifetime where we have full access to the Akashic records, where we can go in and see every single lifetime, see what we experienced, who we lost, how we died, all of it. There's regression, there's all these different modalities that we can use, hypnosis. This wasn't available however many years ago. This is the lifetime where we are being called to do the work to finally clear ourselves fully. So if you want to sign up for this, if you want to fully heal from all of this, please come work with me. I also have a mentor that I work in tandem with, where she does bioenergetic synchronization technique. It's called BEST, BEST. She goes in and we remove the past traumas without even having to talk about it. And it's not hypnosis. You're still present. You're in your body. And there's just certain breathing techniques, pressure points that she holds, certain things that you're going to think in your head while she's doing it. And it is magical, you guys. I've done 5 years, actually 6 years now of treatments, probably twice a month, 6 years, twice a month. I've never stopped. I just had one yesterday. And it is insane how it works. You literally, you get done the 2 minutes of her doing the work on you, and she's like, okay, let's think about that event again. And you can't even remember what you were healing. You're like, oh my God, I feel blank. Like, where did it go? It's not here anymore. It is so magical. So all of my clients that sign up for my 8-week mentorship, where we do 1 Zoom per week for 8 weeks, I always send them to my mentor for extra work, right? Because there's only so much that we can access, right? We can access the memories, we can access the feelings, we can access the triggers. But if you're still magnetizing situations that still feel triggering to you, even after we've cried it out, we've talked it out, then we have to go to the body, because it's deeper. It's past life stuff. Working with me has some benefits because I also connect you to my mentor if you need some deeper healing. And everybody's different. Some people are good with just the surface level healing and they don't need too much deep work done. And then other people are like, Michelle, I cannot get out of this situation, or I'm always in lack and I'm always in debt and I just can't figure it out. It could be past life stuff. Maybe you were very, very poor in a past life, or maybe you were homeless and it's deeply in your bones. And that's where my mentor can help and assist you. Her and I can assist you and get that out. So if you feel called, hit the link in the comments in the description. Just go to my website. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We'll just do 1 hour together and see how you feel. We can unpack what you've been through and we'll just go from there. Honestly, those two are what people normally do. I always get one person that books a one-on-one with me and then they all of a sudden start accelerating and healing fast. It's like we open them up and then every week they're like, hey, can I book another one-on-one? And I'm like, this is why I created my mentorship. So you don't have to keep messaging me. You can just lock in spots for the next 2 months and you're good to go. So if you feel called to do that, click the link. I'm sending you so much love. Remember, call on Uriel. Go get this book if you want to learn more about your archangels. There's so many of them and they all have different meanings. But Uriel is here to help us through change, to help us through transformation, going through the fire, kind of coming out as that phoenix. But they will assist you on your journey and you can trust in them. Remember, they'll come to you in the feelings in your body. I think that's why they gave us the clair-sentience at the end, is because they're letting you know that they will talk to you through your body. Okay, so if you're getting goosebumps while watching this, click the link. That means you're meant to work with me. That's them saying, yes, you needed to hear this. Let's get you healing, because this is a time where we can clear everything and you can be free, right? You can deal with natural disasters and not feel an ounce of fear because you are so grounded and you understand why it's really happening. It's happening for us in some way, but you're going to be okay knowing that, okay, if there's no food and water, I can call on my angels and they will find a way to bring me food and water. That's how I live my life. I know if I don't have something, if I'm not prepared, I know I'll have a neighbor that will have it. I know I'll be maybe the house the tornado misses, I just have that belief system. So start implementing that into your own life, into your own body, and know that you are always protected. And remember, the more you educate yourself, the less fear you will have. So if fear is building while watching this, saying, I got to keep watching it, I'm going to sit through my fear because I will have less fear after watching this. All right, I'm sending you so much love. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out.